So this session is intended to help you all to make the best of your law school journey. And today's speaker will be Mr. Akash Baghelkar. He is a fifth year undergraduate law student at Usmania University. All right, and so he has vast experience in advocacy, and also he is a great writer. Also, he writes for many newspapers. He wrote good editorials and also some blogs online. So let me share some of his achievements to you all. Okay. So I can see who's joining in just. So let me share some things with you. So he's just in his fifth year, but he has got some good experience. So if we look at his internship experience, he interned under Justice V. Ramasubramanian. So when he was a judge of Hyderabad High Court, now he was elevated to the Supreme Court, if I'm not wrong. And he interned at Deccan Global Law Firm in Hyderabad. And also he did an online internship with Competition Commission of India, New Delhi. And if I take you through the judgment publications, I hope you're not able to see that. So he argued in person before the Telangana High Court and also Karnataka High Court. So he filed a public interest litigation in Telangana High Court about establishing State Human Rights Commission here, I guess. Just a second. So there is some problem in sharing the screen. So I'll just tell you this. So he has got a vast experience in all these things. And if I'm not wrong, he won 5 moot courts also. And recently he won the first prize in National Constitutional Amendment competition, which was organized by uh, RMNLU. So is it RMNLU?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University and some other institute. And there are many achievements. So at the end, I'll show you his entire profile so that you'll all come to know, because now there is some glitch in sharing the screen. So now I'll hand it over to Mr. Akash Baghelkar. He'll be talking on how to, like, what exactly you have to do in the next 5 years of your law school journey. So if you have any questions, just note it down. I'll take all the questions at the end. All right. So now I'll hand it over to Akash Baghelkar. Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon, one and all. First of all, I want to thank Exams Hangout, the Legal Academy app, for inviting me for this virtual gathering before this virtual audience. Trinath was introducing about myself. He was pointing out my achievements and all that. But I believe that achievements were of the past. After you will be listening to me, you will be judging me through my present achievements. If I may give you the example from the cricketing side, 2 days before, Ajinkya Rahane was the player of the match for India won against Australia. 1 week earlier than that, he was criticized for India loss. So it depends upon the day's performance, not on the past achievement. So I hope that I will make sure that your time which you have allotted for this particular event will be given more value. So first of all, let me start in this way. This is not only for 5 year students, for both 3 years, there will be students in 3 years, and I can see few of the participants who are in 3YDC course also. So this is for exclusively for law students. Now, there will be many people, you might be coming across them, who will be telling to you that law is the only option in life. Without law, you cannot achieve anything in life. All this kind of things you will be listening from people across the quarters. But my personal opinion is I'm not the subscriber of that view. You can choose any kind of profession, but just make sure that you are the best in that so-called profession which you are choosing. But when you're choosing law as your career or law as your option, then there are certain things which we need to do, which we need not need to do. Because, like, at the outset, I shall tell to you, there was a reputed lawyer who unfortunately died last year. His name is Ram Jethmalani, sir. When he was junior, his senior told to him, it seems, that if you are not giving 16 to 18 hours a day to this profession, simply leave this profession. And as you can see, what Ram Jethmalani has achieved in his career, and he was the top paid lawyer. I will come back, I will be coming on that point during the later, what we call, course of our discussion. First, let me tell you, what is this 5 years? 5 years or 3 years in that sense. If you marry today, you'll be having a 4 years kid at the end of 5 years. If you marry today, at the end of 3 years, you'll be having a 2 years kid. He will also be going into a UKG or so-called thing. So law, 5 years. And also, many of us, we know that what is the main essential thing for an agriculturist or a farmer in that sense? Sowing of the seeds. If the seeds are sowed in a proper way, if proper watering is given, if proper sunlight is given to it, then only you can expect that tree to grow in a very fruitful way, and you can reap the benefits of that tree during the later life of yours. So this stage of 5 years or 3 years law course is that seed sowing only. And if we miss this thing, mind you, career of law will be as other careers. So this is about what we call a 5 years. Let me first start you with the history of legal profession. Who was the first lawyer of history? If you read Old Testaments, you will be finding this story. And before going into history, I want to tell you, among you participants, there might be many. There will be 3 kinds of law students. One who will be joining law as a choice, means out of their own will, out of their own volition. And the second one will be based on their influence of parents or relatives. Sometimes that goes to the extent of force also. And the third one will be law students by chance. Like somehow they will be coming and they will be doing their career. And I'm the one who came by chance. Now, the first lawyer of history also came by chance only. So there is a story in Old Testament which says that there was a young lady by name Susanna. She was married lady, and there were 4 eldermen in the town of Israel. And what they did is they had the eyes on this lady. So they tried to seduce her. And she didn't accede to their, what we call, calls. They brought a false charge of adultery against her, against an unknown man. And these 4 eldermen were like, at this today's present day scenario, we'll be having sarpanch. So these people were head of that village. One was the complainant, the other one was the witness, the third one was the lawyer, the fourth one was the judge. So they among themselves, they decided, and as expected, they found her guilty of the offense of adultery. At that time, the offense of adultery was stoning the convict to death, and people used to stone that so-called convict. So the people gathered to stone this lady to death. Among that group of people, one person by name Daniel, he got up and said, no, I don't think that this lady has been given a fair trial. So I want to cross-examine this 4 eldermen. All the people were angry on this young gentleman, but they were proud of this young gentleman's courage. See, this is one of the main thing of a law profession, of a legal professional, to have courage. And he got up and he cross-examined. as cross-examination happens in this way is one in the absence of another. One witness will be examined in the absence of another witness. So one was asked, where did you see the crime happening? He said, in the corridors of the what we call palace. The other said, somewhere outside near that what we call bedroom. And the other said, under the sunny sky. The other said, during the night time. So as expected, four of them were giving contradictory statements. Hence, the crowd which gathered to stone this lady Susanna to death indeed stoned these four eldermen to death. So this is about who was the first lawyer of the history. It is person by name Daniel. You will be finding this in Old Testaments. It is a source document. You will be finding it. Now, what are the lessons that we can draw from this first lawyer of the history? He came by chance. Number two, he didn't have knowledge of any law. What he showed was courage. Third, he stood up for cause of someone, that too more particularly for the cause of woman. So in this way, we got our first lawyer of history. So having said this, I will now move on to what we need to do. So let me tell you in this way. People say importance of law in life. People say that what is importance of law in life? I will divide it into twofold things. Importance of law in life, importance of life in law. Importance of life in law. See, it is for me, if I study law, if I excel well, then it will be giving me great achievements, great accolades to me. That is my importance of law towards my life. It is my individual achievement. Now law, it will be enacted by parliament, judgments will be passed by the judiciary, which will be followed by each and everyone among us. So there are just paper documents. Until and unless some life is poured into them. Who can pour that life? Can we expect any animal or tree to pour that life? They are also beings, living beings. No. So it is we human beings who will be pouring life into that law. So importance of life, individual life towards law. That is what we call is where our duty comes. And how it will be coming during this course of law career, law journey in the law school. So there is one book written by one author. That book's name is Eat That Frog. He says that we need to have two plans, long-term plan and short-term plan in any kind of career option. So in this legal profession also, we have long-term plans and short-term plans. What are that long-term plans? At the end of 5 years, where you want yourself to be, like 6-7 moot courts. If you ask me my personal opinion, I will be telling that at the end of the year, at the end of the law career, we shall have 5 to 6 moot courts. We shall participate in 6 to 7 seminars. Of course, now during this pandemic, it would be webinars. We should write articles, at least one article per month during the later course. So 20 articles together. And also like participation in quiz competitions, participation is ADR programs and all that. What they all are, I will be telling you in detail. So these are your long-term plans. And internships under an advocate, internship under a judge, internship under a statutory body, internship under a quasi-judicial body, all these things. These are our long-term plans. So for that long-term plans, he says that in that book, Eat That Frog, we shall have short-term plans. So from where we shall start our short-term plans? Like first semester, it will be like you will be new to law college, teachers will be new, you will be not knowing anyone, you will be slowly what we call making acquaintance with each and everyone, like teachers, friends, students, so on and so forth. And you will be having access to library. You will be not, suppose for example you are new to this profession, And even if you have your parents in this profession, they can only tell you what to do, what the law is all about, but they will not guide you in that way so that you can do anything. At the end of the day, it is we who will be reading or performing. So what we can do during the first semester? To my personal knowledge and with my personal experience, I can say that for the first 1 year of law, which consists of 2 semesters, we shall only read everything, like newspapers to start with. A newspaper, I don't know how many of you read newspapers as of today, for how many hours. Just if you have a mere grasp over it, that is not enough. We need to read each and everything in a newspaper, because what Ram Jetmalani sir used to say is, a lawyer who studies only law is a mere mason. Mason means labor. He must be an architect of art, science, literature, philosophy, so on and so forth. Everything under the sun, if I may say it in a nutshell. So where you will be finding this thing? It is in newspaper. You can read any newspaper, it is up to you. You read Hindu, Indian Express, or Times of India, or anything. But make sure that you inculcate the habit of reading newspaper at least for 2 hours in a day, or in the first and second semesters for 3 hours also. More particularly the edit pages. You will be knowing the views of the different persons, how they are articulating their views, how they are expanding their views. In this way, and one more thing, when you will be reading newspaper, make sure that you maintain one diary. In that you will be finding some words, English words, and some legal words also. Note it down. We have access to library, any kind of not library, to dictionary, and through the dictionary find out the meaning of the word. Whenever you will be coming across that word next time, it will be easier for you to go across that lines. What generally we do as law students or anyone is, we read paper, and if at all some hard word comes, we leave it and we go follow the other one. But when you are in legal profession, please make sure that you note down that hard words or some new words. You'll be finding idioms in it. You'll be finding some magazines of any profession. You can note it down so that it will be best for us to use it in future. So there is a research which says that whatever we read, 95% of it we will be using by the end of the day. So if we note it down, it will be easier for us for future reference. So for first and second semester, first suggestion from my side will be read newspaper thoroughly. Second one is, now if at all you are a 5IDC student, means 5 years student, you will be having subjects like sociology, like all social science subjects, history, political science, so on and so forth. What generally students do is, they read for the exam purpose. They read some books which are exclusively for exam purpose and they leave it. Sorry, we are committing a what we call grave crime for ourselves if we are reading books with social subjects only from exam point of view. There was an American judge, Justice Brandeis. He said, a lawyer who studies only a lawyer who does not studies economics and sociology is very apt to become public enemy. I repeat, he said, a lawyer who does not studies economics and sociology is very apt to become public enemy. And there was another judge from America, Justice Cardozo. He said that law is a jealous mistress. It requires everything under the sun. So whenever we are reading anything, make sure that you are reading from official sources, like original sources. You have the grasp of entire knowledge covering it. One particular point is there, like First World War. You'll be having it in political science, international relations point of view. If you read only from the perspective of that one particular author, then you will be gaining only few of the knowledge. if you read from different areas of that thing, you'll be having a vast knowledge over that subject. Now, why I have used the World War example, I will tell you with means of an example. Recently, if many of you would be reading the daily newspaper or anything, there was one case filed in the Supreme Court to declare emergency of 1975 as unconstitutional. What that has got to do with this World War? The arguments made by the counsel for the petitioner during that day was, he said, World War victims are getting compensation. So please grant compensation to this emergency victims also. So World War was nowhere related to our emergency, but the lawyer made that point and he brought it here. So we don't know when what thing will be coming for us for arguments in the future. So this is another thing which I want you to, what we call, put it in your law career for the first year. And one more most important thing is, we must read life stories of great legal professionals. Like there are many books, autobiographies and biographies of many legal luminaries, from Nani Palkiwala, Ram Jethmalani, Justice M.C. Chagla, Arvind P. Dattar sir, Soli Sorabji sir, Harish Salve sir. There are many legal luminaries, Justice H.R. Khanna, Justice Vivian Bose, Justice P.N. Bhagwati. There are many. So when we will be reading the life stories of them, we will be knowing what they have done during this course of time. So it will be easier for us. Oh, so this man has done, this great legend has done this thing. I will also do this thing. Let me try it out. It will motivate us. Second thing is, whenever you want to do some research, of course, when his journey will be traced out, we will be tracing out his legal journey also. What, in which cases he has participated, in which cases he has argued. So through that, what we can do is, we will be knowing the case law knowledge also, knowledge of the law. So to start with, I want each one of you to purchase this book, Legends in Law. It is written by V. Sudhish Pai. It contains the life stories of 40 legal luminaries. This book, Legends in Law. In this, you will be having life stories of each and every individual. The other book is Justice M.C. Chagla's book, Roses in December. So the book, the list is very exhaustive. I will be telling you what all books are required for us. This is as far as your first year is concerned. Newspaper, reading each and everything. And also you can read this legal magazines, and also like our professor G.B. Reddy sir, he is professor of Osmania University. He used to tell to us, a law student in his first year should be thorough with 50 legal magazines. What are these legal magazines? These are not our English words, not our Indian words. There are some Latin words. For some so-called thing, there will be a doctrine which will be having a legal meaning. Legal magazine means which has got Latin terms. So law student shall read 50 legal magazines by the end of first year. He used to tell to us. So we have at least tried to read some 30 to 40 by the end of first year. Slowly you can increase that ratio also. So reading legal magazines and reading other magazines, like these are the magazines like Economic and Political Weekly magazine, Practical Lawyer, Law Teller. And also the first and most important thing is judgments reading. See, we are law students. Now for many of us, as part of our curriculum itself, case law study has been given. First of all, let me tell you what is case law. Case law is the one which is decided by the court, either the Supreme Court or the High Courts. And out of that, there will be landmark judgments, benchmark judgments, and all that. So we are law students. After the end of this course, what we are to do is, we'll be arguing before the courts. if you assess the courts with this case laws, then leave about you after 5 years. In this 5 years only, when you will be participating in moot courts and seminars and all that, you must be thorough with the case laws. Until and unless you do not cite the judgments, sorry, we cannot participate in moot courts. Sorry, we cannot participate in seminars, legal seminars. Sorry, we cannot participate in quiz competitions. We cannot excel in them. So to start with, in the first year, we can at least one judgment per 1 month. It's my what we call my philosophy that I read one judgment per 1 week. But as we are in very first year, and for the first year students, I will be suggesting them to read one case law per 1 week, because we are new to this case law readings and all that. This were not taught to us either if we are in degree course or in intermediate course. So one judgment per 1 week. From which judgment shall we start? To start with, you can read A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras, AIR 1950, SC 27. So you can find that judgment in Google or anywhere also, but law reports are also there. So to start with, you can read that judgment, and subsequently many other landmark judgments of the Supreme Court are there, like Shankari Prasad Singh versus State of Bihar, Sajjan Singh versus State of Rajasthan. For many of you, these judgments might be going above your head, but please bear with me. These are the judgments which we must read during this 5 years course to excel in this law school and also to excel after this law school career. So judgments reading is very important. One judgment per 1 month. Make notes of it. How to read a judgment? A judgment contains 4 things. One is facts of the case. Like what was the thing, what was the cause which has paved way for approaching the court? I have beaten that so-called man because he has not paid my debt. These are the facts. The issue is, now second one will be, it consists of issues. The issue will be whether I have beaten that so-called man. If yes, how? Is there any evidence? If yes, then what is the course of punishment? Whether that so-called beating was permitted by law or not. So this is the issue. The third part of a judgment consists of principles. What are these principles? Principles means the case laws that the court has decided earlier. Now, because my case would not be the first and foremost case, no, not at all. 70 years of history of Indian bar, that post-independence, pre-independence also, right from 1600 we are having the legal profession, which the Britishers have started for us. So what are the principles, earlier judgments which were followed? So precedents we call it as. So shall I stop here, Trinath?
We have less than a minute, so we'll stop it here and we'll make a fresh meeting again. All right. I'll share another link. So this is going to end here.
In as far as case laws is concerned is principle, reading the principle. Like the court will be giving the reasons for the judgment that it will be giving, like whether I am convicted of the crime or not. What are the reasons for my conviction? How I have bet him? What were the circumstances through which I have bet him? What was the evidence that was led by the prosecution for beating me? and all that. These are the principles that a case law consists. Then after this, the fourth one will be judgment, whether I am convicted of offense or not. If I am convicted, what is the punishment? So this is case law as far as case laws are concerned. Only when we read case laws, then I'm of very firm belief that we can excel in law career. Initially, when I started, I used to read case law per 15 days or 1 month or so on and so forth. Now, believe in me, at least for a week, I go on reading 10 to 12 case laws on an average. So this is the importance of case laws, which you should read to start with a month per one case law. So having said this, what we need to do in the first year, and also most important thing is, first of all, download 3 apps. This is one is Live Law, second one is Bar and Bench, third one is Loctopus. Live Law and Bar and Bench provides you with the daily updates of law, like what is happening, what kind of judgments the courts are delivering, or what kind of petitions are being filed. You'll be coming across columns, articles by different authors and all that. And as far as Loctopus is concerned, it will be giving you the details of the events, law events like moot courts, seminars, quiz competitions, and all that. Now, having said what we need to do in the first year, I will come what we need to do in the second year. When you will be thorough with the knowledge of reading each and every aspect, we need to start with moot courts. As I said to you, the long-term plan is 6 moot courts, 10 to 12 webinars, article writings, and all that. Now, short-term plan will start from second year. For one semester, 1 moot court can we do? That should be your short-term goal. For one semester, can I do 1 seminar? Can I participate in 1 seminar? How will you participate in 1 seminar? By writing an article. If you write 1 article, based on that article, by contributing to papers, then that papers will be having ISBN number, they have got their own values. And participating in quiz competition, legal quiz competition. Same, this all things you will be finding in that Loctopus website. Can I participate in 2 or 3 online quiz competitions as of now for 1 semester? This shall be your short-term target for 1 semester. Now, what are moot court? What is a moot court? Moot court is nothing but what you do in the real court, you are doing in a what we call student days, a virtual court, or in that sense, a duplicate court. You will be given with a problem. Based on that problem, you need to search for case laws. As I said to you, the value of the case law, you need to research case laws on that. There will be issues. On that issue, you should participate, you should argue, you should put forward your argument before a judge, the moot court judge. But believe in me, the judges who come to see your performance, they are either advocates, reputed advocates, or there are judges, retired judges of High Court, or sitting judges of High Court during the final round competition. So you'll be getting all the feeling of a real court. A decade ago, we were not having moot courts and all this in this way as we have developed today. So the lawyers of that era need to participate in a moot court or anything. But as of today, for a law student of today, moot courts are very, very, very essential requisite. At the cost of self-narcissism, I have to say that whatever little I have achieved extra in this legal career during this course of 5 years, it is only because of participation in moot courts. I got to know the mind of a judge. Oh, what kind of question he will be asking. And in a moot court also, we'll be arguing against the other side. As it happens in a real court, moot court is same as a real court. Only difference is there you will be having a real client. Here there is no one. That is for real purpose, legal purpose. This is for academic purpose. So moot courts contribute to your legal journey in this way. So this, where to find moot courts? In the Loctopus website, each and every update of a moot court will be given to you. It is good if you participate in moot court in your second semester or first year also, but without knowledge of law, if you participate, you will be not getting anything. But even if you participate in the second semester, it is well and good. But to start with, from third semester of second year, we can start with moot courts, and then slowly can you contribute articles, papers to a seminar or webinar. Like as I told you, when you will be reading newspapers, when you will be noting down that legal words, English words, you'll be reading the views of the authors in the articles, papers, magazines. So in that way, you will be knowing the knowledge of how these people are articulating some words. So you also sit down, put the pen down through the paper and write something or the other on some issue which you feel, oh, this is correct, this is not correct. Believe in me, out of curiosity only law will come. Knowledge of law will come, and also out of curiosity law came. So okay, this is good. What can I do? Writing is important. Publication in this journal, that journal is not at all important for us as of now, in the second year or the third year also. You write something, there are thousands of websites, blogs which publish your articles. Even if they are not there, I think we can create our own blog and publish articles, our own articles. So write something or the other on a viewpoint. In this way, when we sit down and write, we will be doing an extensive research work. The thing which you will be grasping in a law school by sitting in a classroom, this will be more than that. That thing will be fixed forever on a particular so-called aspect that you have researched and wrote. So writing articles. Third one is, as I told you, quiz competitions. Now, due to this pandemic, each and every quiz competition is being conducted online. So by participation in quiz competitions, what we will gain? Obviously, new concept, like what was the case of that, and also your IQ, legal IQ. I say, like by participating in quiz competitions, we will be increasing our legal IQ at the spur of moment. I may know this case law, I might have read that thing, but during that question, can I answer it? In this way, our legal IQ also will increase. Again, this you will be finding in the Loctopus website only. The other event is ADR programs. What is this ADR? Alternative dispute resolution, like your arbitration, mediation, conciliation programs. So these are also important for us to know what we call how to resolve the dispute out of court. So these programs are also being conducted. The other thing is client counseling, how to counsel a client. When a client comes to you, what you will talk, what you will listen, how to know what is his grievance. For that also, law career is providing us a platform, that is client counseling programs, which you will be having with what we call various colleges conduct. To participate in that, you will be knowing what to talk with the client, what not to talk. You will be knowing whether the client is taking you for a ride or not. So that what will happen through all this is, when you end the 5 years career, you will be having the thorough practical knowledge. Law in theory is different, law in practice is different. In classroom, what is taught to you is by teachers is theory. By participating in this extracurricular activities, you are one step nearer to the practical aspects of law. So this is as far as your second year is concerned. Participation in this extracurricular activities. I said what to do in third semester, same applies to the fourth semester also. And also you can extend this to your what we call third year also. Many say that we should do internships like from the second year itself. If at all you are a third year student, or 3YDC student, then from this what we call first half, like after 1.5 semester, after 3 semesters, you can go for moot courts. Sorry, not moot courts, for this thing, for internships. What is an internship? Internship is the one which you do under a senior. Senior in the sense advocate, a real practicing advocate. Again, there are different types of internships. Internship under a judge. Judge means trial court judge, high court judge, and supreme court judge. Advocate, advocate practicing in a litigation site. Advocate practicing in a commercial site. That is your corporate world, economic world. So that is another aspect. So if at all you are a 5IDC student, then we should participate we should do internships from our 6th semester. Let us enjoy this law life for the 5 semesters. Let us participate in moot courts and everything, get the knowledge of law, both in theory and practice. Then if we do internship, then we'll be getting the practical knowledge, like how your senior is arguing. He'll be telling you to prepare notes of the case that he has in hand before him. Or if you are interning under a judge, the judge will be telling you to research for case laws. Again, case law came. Believe in me, without a case law, a law student is like without what we call, if I may say, a warrior without weapon in war, without case law knowledge. Case law is very, very important aspect of a law student career. And when, if you start it from the first year, you will be in an advantage position. So judge might tell you to research for case laws and all that. So you will be preparing notes. In this way, we will be getting practical knowledge of law before completion of our law career in school, law college. Now, there are many who, what they do is, they go for 1 month internship. They go for internship before that advocate. After 1 month, they go for internship before another advocate. Well, they might be correct in their place, but as far as my opinion is concerned, at least we should do an internship for a period of 2 months. Because in 4 weeks, initial first week will be going into the introduction part only. What I am, what they are, what the firm does. We should get acquainted with the environment. We should know what is actually happening over here. By the time we know that, 4 weeks will be done. Only for the purpose of certificate, if we are doing internship, then that will not serve any purpose in the long run of legal career. At least for a period of 2 months, an internship can be done, is what I personally believe and opine and suggest also to you people. So this we can start, if at all you are a 5IDC student, from your 6th semester. If you are a 3YDC student, from your 4th semester. Have internship under an advocate, under a judge, and all that. And as I told you, you need to read autobiographies and biographies. So first of all, I will tell you about, let me tell you in this way. I told you, Ram Jethmalani sir was advised by his senior that if you are not giving 14 hours to the profession, simply leave it. I also tried to emulate it, but I maintain a diary. What I do is, at what time I'm getting up, I write down. 4 o'clock is my time where I get up. Then from 4 to 6, what I'm doing, I'm studying. Then what like it in the way, in a day diary, I will be maintaining how much hours I'm dedicating towards study or towards the legal study, and what is the time which I'm spending for some other reason or daily activities like bathing, cooking, eating, sleeping. So these all things contribute towards our daily life or going somewhere. I note it down. In this way, I will be knowing, like, in a day how much hours I am spending towards law. And for as far as I am concerned, not more than 9 hours or 10 hours I spend towards the study of law. I don't know how Ram Jethmalani sir used to spend 14 hours. That's why they became mavericks in the profession. 14 to 16 hours also they used to spend. So if we want to study law, like if you want to excel in law, there is one book written by Malcolm Gladwell. The book name is Outliers. The book name is Outliers. In that, he has written one chapter, chapter 2. He talks about 10,000 hour rule. What he says is, if you want to achieve mastery in something, you should practice continuously for 10,000 hours. After you practice something for 10,000 hours, then you will be achieving mastery in that profession, in that so-called profession. And he has what we call substantiated that with an empirical evidence. There was a what we call psychologist. He did a research. His name is Andrew Erickson. He did research on many people. I will be giving you one example. There were violinists. Like at the age of 6, each one of he divided them into 3 groups. These 3 groups used to practice daily for 2 hours. At the age of 6, when they reached the age of 8 years, one group practiced for 4 hours per day, other group practiced for 2 hours, 3 hours, the other group practiced for 2 hours. And by the time they reached the age of 12, one group participated, practice for the period of 8 hours, the other group for the period of 6 hours per day, the other group for the period of same 2 hours per day. Like after practicing from the age of 12 till 20, by the end of 20 years of each of them, the group which practiced daily for 18 hours, they were the violinist at the professional level, at the highest level. Say like if it is a singer MS Subbalakshmi, if she is singing daily for 8 hours, she is Subbalakshmi for you. If it is A.R. Rahman, if it is Sachin Tendulkar. So there are cricketers, many cricketers you will be finding. And the group which was second, which practiced for 6 hours, they were for some events like national, some medal events, or like where you'll be getting paid money. The third one was like they became only for like time pass purpose they did. But at the end of the thing, they were not doing anything. So the same theory, the same practice applies to the legal profession. He puts it in a very good word. He says, you might have natural talent, but that natural talent will be preserved and will continue and will excel only when you put hard work, when you put efforts. He says, achievement is talent plus preparation. So you might have talent, and I'm sure each one of us have talent, but that talent will be fructifying only when you put efforts. So it's up to us what we want to do at the end of 5 years. If you don't give 8 to 10 hours per day towards legal profession, we cannot expect excelling in the profession from our other peers. Like you might be a law student of an average thing. And mind you, if you want to do internship under a judge of a Supreme Court of India, then your CV should contain all these extracurricular activities. Without that, generally they don't take, because you're assisting a judge of a Supreme Court whose law will be the final law of the land, law of this country. So they will be not taking any Tom, Dick, and Harry as an intern. No, we should consider these facts. Now, having said this, now what are the life stories? What are the autobiographies and biographies that we should read? One I told, Legends in Law. The other one is MC Chagla's autobiography, that is Roses in December. The third and most important book which I would be putting in the first place is Nani Palkiwala, The Courtroom Genius. Whatever I'm telling to you, this 10,000 hours practice and dedication and each and everything you will be finding in the life of that great man. And the fourth book would be Neither Roses Nor Thorns, written by Justice H.R. Khanna. The other book could be Quoting Politics, written by Sweta Bansal. And the list is, you take the names, the list will go on. This is just an illustrative list. To start with, you can read them. Now, having said this, generally what students do is they blame the teachers after the end of 5 years or 3 years course or in any profession. Oh, because of this teacher I couldn't. Because of this teacher I couldn't do this. Of course, teacher plays a very pivotal role in the shaping of career of a law student, but also consider this fact that it is up to the student who should do. In Ram Jetmalani sir's class, to the student who should do. In Ram Jetmalani sir's class, there were many students along with him. At the end of the day, he was one who excelled. Why? He did more than what teacher taught him. In Harish Salve sir's class, there were many students along with him. Why he excelled? He gave more efforts than what his students, what his classmates gave. In Kapil Sibal sir's class, or you take name of any great legal professional, you'll be finding the same story. And this thing is not now in this modern era. You can find it from the periods of Mahabharata. It's up to us how we do. And I was telling you what we call life stories of these people will motivate us to excel in the career. And like, yes, I told you what to do in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and fifth, 5 years. It is not like I'm scaring anyone. It's all upon us how we do. See, excel in any profession is upon us whether we excel or not. I can, at the end of the day, at the best, I would be sharing my experiences and what I have done to you people. That's it. So, like legends in law, I will tell you about few people life stories in very brief. Like, first of all, it is Nani Palkiwala sir. He was one of the toppest lawyer during his era, or till now also. He has contributed to the legal profession in an immense way. And he has contributed to that landmark Keshavananda Bharati judgment. He never used to visit the Supreme Court canteen during his careers. And you must know this fact, when in his student days, his father used to give him money to what we call have lunch. Through that money, he used to purchase books for himself so that he can read. So this is the way he he has spent his career in law. The other great legend which I will be telling you is Ram Jetmalani sir. He started his law practice from the age of 17 years. This is an all-time record which till yet no one has broken. He started the law practice at the age of 17 years and he practiced till the age of 96 years, almost all 7 decades. And he was the highest paid lawyer during his times. He died in the month of September 8, 2019, last year itself. The other one is H.M. Shirvai sir. One thing about him, he was an advocate general for 17 years. Today we can find it, if at all any new government comes, advocate general will be changed. But any government couldn't change him because he was an impartial man. And one more thing, he used to charge from the client only what he has provided service for. I will tell you one of the incident from his life story. He was an advocate general. And he came. One of the client came to him and said that, sir, I want your opinion on this thing. At that moment, he couldn't give him that legal opinion and he took 2 days for giving the legal opinion. But his legal opinion was in such a way that the client won the case. And the client has sent him for the bill. What he said, he charged a very less amount, and the client was shocked. For such a maverick work, he has charged such a small amount. And he tells him to increase the bill of his legal profession, legal charges, expenses. He said, his reply was, You came to HM Shirvai expecting that he will be giving you opinion at that moment itself. You believed my knowledge of law, but I couldn't give you my legal opinion at that moment itself. It took 2 days for me, so I'm charging this amount only. So what lesson we can draw? Be humble, and also like we should be expecting what we have done, what we have given. And another thing, he was offered the judgeship of Supreme Court. Had he accepted that judgeship, he would have been the judge for 15 years and Chief Justice of India for 5.5 years. But he declined it, and he contributed by writing a book on constitutional law. When you will be reading constitutional law, that book is very important for us from the point of view of lawyers. And if you want to master constitutional law, reading of that book is compulsory. This is about HM Shirvai, sir. And there are other judges like Justice H.R. Khanna. He was the great judge who gave a dissenting judgment in this case, ADM Jabalpur. And there is what we call senior advocate of today's, he is presently there. He used to write one article per 1 week. I was telling you during earlier period that we need to write articles, one article per 1 month and all that. He made a point that he will write one article per 1 week on income tax, and he write, like, by the end of his legal career, he wrote somewhere around 100 articles, 100 plus articles. Now he is one of the top lawyer as of today. And there are life stories of many people, which like another what we call great legal luminary. I will end up in 2 minutes. Trina. So that legal luminary is what we call Mukul Rohatgi, sir. He used to cycle to his school and college, and during that period, he used to what we call recollect what all he has read. So this is the way many people in our legal profession have led their life, and I am sure that we all will excel in this profession by following their path, or even by forging our own path. It is not that we should follow their own path. Even if you don't give 8 hours to profession, not at all required. You spend 1 hour, but make sure that 1 hour is a fruitful hour. That is what I expect and what I suggest. With this few words, like, I will be stopping my lecture, or in that sense, my thoughts which I am shared with you. If anyone has got any question, any comment, or anything, please you can ask.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, please ask. You can unmute yourself. Purna, do you have something to ask?
I think no one has got any questions.
Yeah, actually, I asked some of them to post their questions yesterday. So I got very few questions because most of them are current CLAT aspirants. I mean, like they are in class 12 or class 11. But there are a few questions I have. I'll just take them out. Yeah, one student is asking us, like, if we join in non-NLUs, can we excel in corporate law or to work in law firms, to work in law firms?
Like, yes, it all depends upon us at the end of the day, as I said you. In corporate law, it is upon if you what we call practice towards that profession, if you join some corporate firm, you can, but chances are very less. This is not said by me. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud in one interview, he said that with empirical evidence, he said that like corporate firms take only NLU students. But again, if you read the life story of Nani Palkiwala, that is an example for all of us. When one can excel, all others can excel. That is what Abraham Lincoln says to us.
So if someone is from a non-NLU, so what are the steps they should take to excel in corporate law?
It would be same. See, like litigation practice or corporate law practice has got nothing difference in it. There is also you have there also you have law. Here also you have law. But what is the difference is there you will be practicing in courts. Here you will be what we call helping the corporate firms. There you have got different what we call law subjects and different things like CA and all that. Certainly, I feel that from today itself we should not plan what we should do after the end of 5 years. First, let us enjoy this 5 years life. Then certainly we can sit down and jot it down what we need to do.
Another student has asked me about if he can do both a CS and 5 year LLB at a time by attending
Yes,
classes.
yes. Many are doing. Many do that.
Okay, so will there be any compromise on either classes or on CS course if we do both simultaneously?
No, it will be an additional this thing on him. It all depends on how he manages. Like I told you that I gave you the example of Arvind Dattar sir. He used to go for CS classes in the evening, accountancy classes. Even same was case with Nani Palkiwala sir. So it's all upon how we manage. And many people are doing the same thing. Many law students as of now. And one more thing, one important thing I forgot to tell you
Yeah.
is you must what we call have access to SCC online. SCC online, that is a what we call law journal, which we need to through which how to get case laws. In that SCC online, you will be getting. Our colleges will be having an IP address for that. If you log in with your college Wi-Fi and all that, you'll be having access to SCC online. SCC online as of today is very essential weapon for a law student and a law professional also. They have their journals also, like judgments are reported. They cover an extensive area. For legal research, SCC online is also one of the great things. So like technology is all upon us. We can use, we can misuse. See, one more great thing benefit for us is for this 21st era is we have access to technology. Earlier, to get one point on one so-called thing, it used to take weeks and months together for one legal research. Now, at the click of a button, we will be having many things. So within hours, we can do a research on some so-called area. At the same time, technology has got its own disadvantages, which you people know very well than what I know. So this is in this way we can use of computers will be helping us. Use of technology will be helping us in legal profession. SCC online, as I said to you, live law and bar and bench. What they do earlier to get a judgment of a Supreme Court, to know what judgment a Supreme Court has delivered or High Court has delivered, it used to take months to get it reported in law reports. Now, if morning a judgment is delivered, by evening you will be finding it in live law or bar and bench app. So technology has improved and it has made us easy. So what I feel is we can do more than what the legends in profession has done. Again, it all depends upon us. We have got many uses, many technologies, access to anything, many things. We have got many benefits. So this is another thing. So I think
So,
there are no questions. We shall end.
Yeah, I suppose that there are no questions anymore, and I got only few. Yeah. So I'll check out. Actually, there were some old questions like they asked. Old in the sense like a few days ago, but I don't know where are they. Like they might be missed out somewhere.
Chalo, fine. Thank you
Yeah.
one and
Okay.
all for patient hearing and listening to me, bearing with me and listening to me for 1.5 hour. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trinath, and thank you, Exams Hangout app.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys, and thank you Akash brother for taking your time out to enlighten us about this law school journey. And I hope you'll attend some more workshops when we invite you for the same. So maybe we'll
Definitely,
take
when
some
you
more.
call, when participants are inclined to
So
attend,
next
then
time we'll come
definitely.
with more participants because now we came up with very short duration, right? Yesterday evening only
Yes,
we
yes,
completed the
yes.
post and all. So next time, like we'll do on very specific topics and we'll have more audience also at that. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks for joining, bro.
Thank you, one
And
and all.
okay, I'm ending it here.